But
I
have
love
you
pineapple.
put salt on pineapples before?
So
don't like
I like
pineapple.
my
Try it.
plan
Okay.
of dropping us
Ollie,
and then leaving.
it's a good plan. It's a very good plan.
The issue is trying to convince cattle, but it makes
I-
sense.
I-
for me and
I'm not
cattle
a
to be on
fan.
their position. Really, we're at no risk aside from we'd have to make sure it is a shuttle. We either a stealth shuttle if we can get it, which definitely exists somewhere, right? Which maybe your weird contacts you're
If
not
it
sharing.
does,
about
I
have
haven't
something
seen
to do
it.
with Yeah, I got your joke. Or it has guns, just in case. Like,
You don't have to worry about stripped out because you're not transporting things, just yourselves. So totally has guns.
and if we were really worried to go completely against things I've said earlier, we could even take some mercenaries with us. You're really
We're back at the point where everyone argued against me, where we shouldn't bring
No,
along
it's
more
different.
people.
Difference between crew
but
and
that's
infiltrating
me
die
trying to
people.
help you.
Yeah, he's saying
Yeah,
red
like-
shirts. He's saying red shirts. He's not
Yeah,
saying crew.
I'm saying red shirt mercenaries, like
Yeah.
some
Like
Terry.
Vorcha.
Watcher. Even.
I mean,
bunch
it's
of
not
fucking
bad.
Vorcha.
They
Yeah.
can actually survive too. So like that's
So that's like if Cattle's like, I absolutely don't want to do this, because what would hopefully happen is really we don't get. You get my.
yeah. Okay, cool. I love it. I love it. Now there's three big monetary things that you have to do to make this happen. One, ship tender mount. Two, shuttle. Three, hovercraft thingy. So those are the three monetary hiccups, and so that's your checklist right there. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. I'm glad we have this plan, and we're totally going to make that come to fruition.
Said that half
'Cause
an hour ago.
No. This is good because now we have a much smaller checklist. It's totally feasible. It's literally just a matter of working through that. And I think Erin is happy with her job. Krax is happy to blow things up, and you guys still have your means of infiltration. We're on point. Cool. It was a good idea, Ollie. All right, so now before we continue on with that whole line of thought, as you guys are kind of like working through, doing all this research, trying to discover like I said beforehand, and you know we're gonna roll to see what you discover for options of shuttles in a second. You get a ping from your handler Ollie, saying that because you know you've talked about certain things with her beforehand. They've intercepted a communication that had come through this area. Apparently, there was somebody of significance coming to the Citadel to handle certain tasks. It was announced on a conversation that was intercepted that had a specific symbol attached to it. It almost looked like a gem-shaped symbol. It's like a elongated hexagon-shaped symbol with a small like circle of almost look like a well or a small circle of stones that at the bottom of it. It's a symbol you guys had discovered beforehand when you were handling the Cerberus stuff, right? So she intercepted this saying that there's somebody of significance coming here, but the person wasn't named. It was just kind of like location of where they're going to be and stuff like that, But the person wasn't named because obviously they're not there under the guise of Cerberus. They're under the guise of whatever their secret identity is. So she sends this information to you saying like, hey, this person is going to be on the Citadel. They're having an important meeting on the Presidium. We don't know exactly who they're meeting with, and we don't know exactly who they are. The message was very vague. But we thought you and your crew might be interested in trying to get a better understanding of who these people are, since this was literally the symbol that you had fed to me beforehand, directly linked to your, what are they called, Volus.
I would ask Caddle if he's interested in getting information, pointing out that the obvious, if we cause them trouble now, that's potentially a trouble for later. You know?
I think it would be a good test run for this black slab. Get in, get out without getting noticed. Tap some doodly-doos.
Okay. So clearly the two of you are guys going to be on that moving up and on points. That usually happens. What about your sniper and bulldozer? Do you guys have any interest in
They
coming
don't
along
get involved in our sneaky missions.
I asked, yeah,
Much.
I asked Krax if you want to go play pool or darts.
You go look for a hovercraft, Missy.
Fine.
Okay.
You got work to do.
I wasn't sure if you wanted them running periffs or whatever. Okay.
Stealthy.
I was thinking about it for a minute, but a Krogan with a gun that cannot fit through most doors is not going to help us.
I forgot that he has like a mini gun.
Okay.
It's a railgun. It's wonderful.
So we'll come back to what you guys spy on in a second. Erin, since you're the one looking for the hovercraft, and Frank, you guys can roll me a either a connect or a trade check to come across a hovercraft like one of these things. Trade. The trade is going to be charisma, and because it's going to be with the actual company itself. The connect is going to be charisma or intelligence, and that's going to be to try to purchase it secondhand from somebody that isn't the company that manufactures them.
So I'm rolling.
Or an appropriate retailer.
Intelligence.
Yeah, Krax isn't even going to bother. He's deleted way too many emails today. Oh, you guys already found that. I'll delete that email to my uncle. So he's just going to let Winnie do everything.
Sure. So Winnie actually reached out to her contacts or whatever, and she is able to find somebody that she was friendly with. This is actually a Quarian that she was friendly with when she was still a member of the flotilla before, she became estranged from them. Somebody that handles kind of like a junkyard area. They handle this area because they're looking for bits of technology that they can bring back as part of their pilgrimage, right? This is, this is kind of his plan. Sometimes, one man's trash is another man's pilgrimage. So, over in that area, they get lots of things that come through that aren't necessarily broken, oftentimes rebuilt, so on and so forth. So they do have one. It's going to be cheaper because of the fact that it's secondhand, but it's going to have a lot of flaws to it unless it's like completely rebuilt. So depending on the amount of money you're willing to spend for the rebuilding of it, or the amount of money or amount you're willing to put into work for it, will change kind of like the quality of what you get. But they definitely have one that's there that is second, third, fourth hand that you can acquire. And it's going to bring down the cost. No questions.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
So we'll do that, and then I will work on it.
Awesome.
To make the necessary.
You're also, just so you know, able to easily procure the equipment to do a ship tender mount. As we discussed beforehand, you actually have so much money in equipment. A ship tender mount costs, give me 2 seconds. What is it, scrap that you have? So ship tender mount, where are you? Where are you, ship tender mount? System survey, so there it is. Is 25,000. And how much do you have in scrap metal there, Rick?
200,900.
So you can actually work 25,000 off of that and build the ship tender mount, but that in and of itself is going to take you 2 weeks.
Hey, Scott, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and remind you that we have a frigate and not a fighter.
No, but that's a frigate.
It's
is the minimum
price.
size. Base price is for a frigate.
Well, in that case.
I'm almost positive. Just double checking. Ship tender mount. Frigate is the base. So it's 25.
In that case.
Appreciate it, though. So anyways, so you can build that. That's going to take you 2 weeks in and of itself. And then afterwards, you can worry about going and purchasing the other thing because you'll have a means of transporting it, right? Cool. Okay. You guys go to check out this meeting. Like I said, it's going to be happening in the Presidium. It's not going to be like a walking chat sort of a thing. It's going to be one of those. They're going to have not a walk and talk. They're going to have a sit down conversation over in a park at the Presidium. You know the park, but you don't know the people. You know the park is going to have a decent number of peoples that are there. So you're looking for something that might stand out for who it is that you're looking for, and it makes things a little bit difficult. You're literally running on skeletal information here, right? So that being said, you guys make your way over to the Presidium, and you make your way over to the park. How are you yourselves presenting? I imagine, are you walking around in your STG armor? And you walk.
I have no idea what you mean. I'm walking in completely regular armor.
Of course. But are you walking around like you in your armor and you in your semi-hidden armor and stuff like that? Is that like how we're dressed?
Semi-hidden, it's completely hidden, yeah, but underdressed.
Yeah. And are you, so Rick, are you in armor or are you in comfortable clothing?
Yeah, naturally.
Okay, so you're walking around. So both of you guys are in your armor, but one of you guys is hidden. So how are you presenting yourselves? What's the facade as you're coming to this park and making your way through it? And
I don't think we even need a facade in a place this busy.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we get into a conversation with someone where we're both charismatic enough to bullshit something.
Mhm.
But it's not like we needed a plan. Like if we were going to like a party together, but this is just a public park. We don't need a story to be here.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So
we
you're
just need to like amble.
Yep. So you're just more or less trying to be discreet in the fact that you're searching, but not hiding the fact that you're there. We're not trying to hide who you are or whatever. You're known to spend a lot of time together, so yay. Cool. So you head to the park and you start searching around. What is your means of searching? You intended to use your black data slab. What are you looking for? And Ollie, what's your technique? I know you're a huntress.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, if I see that symbol, I'm going to zone in on it. But that's incredibly unlikely, and Onthroy doesn't think she'll see it. But she's looking out for it, just in case.
Mhm.
And I guess I would pay any more attention to Volus than others, even though I know that this person might not be a Volus. Just the chances of it be... If it is a Volus, it's a more important person, so it's more important to find them. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Just using generic, like... eavesdropping in a little bit in every conversation sort of thing.
So looking around, trying to see if there's any persons of interest, and then listening to them if you can get yourself close enough to do so. Understood. Basic perception check sort of a thing. We'll get to that in a second. Rick, your methodology.
I'd probably use the data slab to look up like cursory information on everyone we come across. Not like illegal hacking sort of stuff, not yet. Just like looking at them, figuring out who might be the person of interest just by like
facial recognition and profiling. So it's literally one of those like you're trying to set a blanket as it grabs identifies a face. So as it grabs a face, identifies it, runs it through the system, and gives you like a quick, if it's somebody that it easily pops up on the system, it tells you exactly who they are. That sort of thing.
I'd also be using it like to focus in on listening on people and whatnot, because I'm imagining that it also has like eavesdropping equipment or whatever.
I mean, it's more about the hacking and stuff like that, less about like grabbing audio samples. You know what I mean? That's like it would be a different function. So I can actually say no on that one. And so instead we can have you, we can have you kind of focus on that sort of a thing with your actual ears and eyes on this one. So the two of you guys have your methods and what it is that you're intending to do. Cool. So for you, Ollie, that's going to be your wisdom perception check. And for you, Rick, that's actually going to be I'm going to go with a perception intelligence check. But I'm actually, because of your data slab, I'm actually going to give you a +1 on that one.
Good, because we're going to need it.
Cool. So as you guys are initially making your way through the park and trying to gather up areas, you're looking around for Volus. You do see a few Volus. You kind of make your way over there, listening to them, watching. The conversations that you're able to pick up are nothing. And again, Volus are such a big trade that all translators are going to take care of that for you. Nothing is standing out as something of importance. Identifying the Volus, you kind of learn, like, okay, this is a merchant here, this is a banker there, this is just a nobody, like there's different things like that you're able to pick up for the ones that kind of like jumping out at you. You do see, of course, many other people's having conversation. There's a Hanar that is in the area that's kind of giving this outward speech to the Enkindlers and making sure that they're literally speaking out to anybody that's listening. A small crowd forming in front of them, talking about the significance of the Enkindlers and how it is that they've created such a wonderful place that they're here to enjoy, and how that Presidium itself is like the closest step to heaven that the Enkindlers have for this world to take you to the next one. That sort of a thing. You guys run through the database. Like, okay, he's known to be.
That's why I got such a bad role. I got wrapped up in it.
Like, ooh,
I got too interested.
Yeah.
I've been reading his background information too much.
So, and you guys were, of course, interested in that. And the people in the crowd, nobody really stands out as somebody of significance. Nothing really worthwhile. So that's like your first kind of rounds through there, searching throughout the park. Roll me a second check, because I'm allowing 3 checks.
That's better.
Okay. So you're going around. You actually notice that there is a Volus having a conversation with a human, Ollie. And this like grabs your attention. You're like super focused on that. And so you like kind of make your way over in that direction. You're really listening to what they're saying. They're speaking a funny dialect of human that like your translator doesn't actually perfectly get into. It all seems very uncouth. But when finally you are get a little bit of information from Cattle, and he informs you, excuse me, literally one of them is a farmer from Earth that's trying to make a new farm on another garden world elsewhere, and the other one is
What language are they speaking?
they're actually speaking a less commonly known form of Chinese. So it's not like Mandarin or Cantonese. It's like a very less commonly known form of Chinese. They're speaking to this person about trying to gain.
It'd be French.
No, they're speaking. Sorry, they're actually talking about fertilizers for the best type of fertilizer to grow grains with and stuff like that. And so it ends up being like you're like, no. From what I can understand, this might be like a you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Talk about getting rid of bodies or something.
Talking code.
Yeah, or speaking in code and whatnot. So and you're listening intently. Ends up being nothing exciting like that whatsoever. And again, that's a lot of Cattle discovering that. Cattle, you do notice that in this area, something does ping and catch your interest. There are a couple of, in this area, just happen to be having a conversation. Two sitting over at a park bench having a pleasant conversation with one another. It's a man and woman seemingly on a date. It's like you looked at them, they look like they're on a date, until all of a sudden their faces pop up. They're human. Their faces pop up as being former Alliance military, currently known to be mercenaries, that are literally sitting there seemingly having a date. So it's one of those, like, you don't understand human social cues well enough to know if this is an act or not, but that kind of catches you off guard. And then off in another direction, you notice there is another former Alliance military, currently known to be mercenary, man that's sitting there and enjoying reading like the extranet on his thing, and you're like, okay, that's bizarre. There's something happening in this area, and you kind of like and get Entree's attention and kind of bring it back to no, there's something happening here. And so for your third and final roll, why don't you guys roll for me and see what you can kind of discover.
Can it be, even though it's the exact same role, charisma, as I'm trying to work out those social cues?
Yeah.
If you're trying to work those social cues to those very specific people, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you want to focus your attention on those people,
because he's going to be looking for other people and beebly boobing.
Yep. Sure.
I'm like,
sure,
it
absolutely.
Makes more sense to what she would do.
Absolutely. I'm going to get to what that'll do in a second.
She understands how lips and eyes move.
So if they're not touching, it's a bad sign.
Cattle. This is how it's actually going to work out. So because you guys are like affecting each other, this is how it's going to work out. Cattle, you're actually going around and kind of checking areas and whatnot, and looking around to seeing if there's any other cues or whatever that's in the area. And you're looking, and thus far you're having no success on finding something that really stands out. Until it is that Entree contacts you to inform you she's been watching those two and watching like their conversation and how it actually seems to be flirty and whatnot. But you realize while their conversation seems to be genuine, they seem to be genuinely having a good time, their attention isn't fully on each other. Their attention is very specifically scanning the area and is kind of focusing over towards another direction. Like there's a bunch of people over there, but because you notice that their attention is over in that area, they're clearly scanning around for safety and focus there, you actually are able to direct Cattle to go over that way as well and do his own scans. Cattle, as you head over there, something else kind of pops up as strange. You see a conversation happening between two humans on the bench, two gentlemen. One of the gentlemen is just sitting there. He's much older, sitting there having a conversation with a younger guy who is, for lack of a better phrase, ugly as sin. As a matter of fact, his face is very disfigured. And you're looking as the scans go across the report, and you happen to find there is a very well decorated and medaled active member of the Alliance military there by the name of Adam Rockwell. And so when you see that the two of them are having a conversation and you're doing the best you can to try to listen in what they're saying, you notice that pretty much as you notice that they're having their conversation, one of them kind of like looks at you, like full on looks at you. This is the one with the somewhat messed up face. Full on looks at you. Roll me a perception check, Cattle. Wisdom.
What attribute?
Wisdom.
Are you sure it's not charisma?
Wisdom.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad.
You notice a little something move in a bush nearby, and shortly afterwards, you see a drone flying overhead and out of the bush and coming over and landing onto the Omni tool of the person with the disfigured face. Lands onto the Omni tool. It's when that happens that you notice there are a couple of other ones flying overhead as well that are kind of like looking down in the area. The two gentlemen stand up and say like a respectful goodbye, a shake of the hands, and they turn and start like walking away from one another. As you like, it's one of those. It's very obvious that you were made, and that this conversation was naturally coming to a close, and so they immediately start going their own directions. Relaxed, leisure pace. You know, the disfigured man far more relaxed than the other person who's by himself and moving away. Your scanners and everything that you're seeing, you actually pick up a couple more mercenaries, former Alliance military people in the area as well. They kind of like ping onto your screen as well, and all of a sudden you see the two of them get up, and like one of them kind of like laughing and joking and talking about, you know, going to grab like a bite to eat somewhere, and they get up and they start walking away. When you look in that direction, you see Cattle is doing this as subtly as he can, watching other people moving away as well, people that he's picked up too. You see that whatever it is has ended, and obviously the security forces are moving with them.
So
could I do a hack on the fly thing?
Hold on, Ollie first. What?
They're moving towards Cattle.
Moving towards Cattle, but also there are people around Cattle that are moving away as well.
I can tell that they're looking. They're going to the Cerberus people. But I'm gonna actually, like, a bit of a jog, go towards Cattle, and when I go up to him, I'm gonna hug him very tightly, very public display of affection-y. There might be a kiss on the cheek. Just so it's like, okay, this guy, you know what I'm doing. Like, this guy's walking around looking weird. Why is he looking weird? Oh, he's looking for me.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna start. He can start doing what he's doing, and I'll basically cover everything else.
Okay, so you're taking care of that, and Rick, you're hoping to do a roll on the fly. Because she's about to interrupt that, you're gonna have to roll very well to kind of get the information before like she comes in and gives you that hug to give you cover. Because right now you're exposed, walking around like, you know what I mean. So again, your character's more subtle than that, but you know what I'm saying. All right, awesome. Rick, roll me your decryption. Don't roll yet. Decryption intelligence check with the +1, of course. But what was the on-the-fly hack? What was the plan?
I'm trying to get one of the two people that were talking, either Rockwell, you know,
or the older
guy,
or
the other gentleman he was talking to. I want to try and get some of their files if I can.
So you're more or less trying to hack into their Omni tool.
Yeah.
Which one?
We'll go for Rockwell.
You want to go for Rockwell because he also had a drone, so you know there's more going on there.
Awesome. So go ahead, roll your roll for Rockwell.
I'm gonna use a point from the party pool.
Good.
So I can roll
I was
46.
wondering. I was thinking like, oh, do we need?
You're also doing it on the fly, so you take a -2.
Oh.
Okay, so that's only a +2 then.
Well, it's technically, yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Okay. So
and because we're about to end the session, I'm going to use my engineer ability to see if I can pump that even higher.
Sure.
Because it's 2 minutes till the end.
Okay.
That's not okay. We're good.
Okay.
We'll use the 12.
So with that 12 result, we're going to talk about what you find or don't find next week on Mass Effect 2168, as all of a sudden you realize what that circle of stones was. Literally a Rockwell at the bottom of the Cerberus symbol. What? What is that? Oh my god!
That's very stupid, and I'm okay with it.
That's good.
All right.
I thought you were describing it really weirdly this time.
Yeah, it's because I totally lost my subtlety from last time. I was like, Rockwell. Damn it! I said the word well. No, don't say rock. All right. So, Rick, who are you? How can we find you?
Hi, I'm
Oh.
Rick. I do stuff on the YouTubes and the Twitches. I'm currently not putting up any videos because, well, one of my family members is possibly croaking it soon. So, yeah, I'm not feeling great. Although I did stream on Monday. I streamed some They Are Billions. So if you want to follow me on twitch.tv/derpdigital, you get a notification when I go live. Currently thinking about going live next Monday at like 7 p.m. GMT. Videos will resume whenever. I'm
Awesome.
taking it easy right now.
As completely understandable with the family member and whatnot. So of course, best of wishes going to the family. Family always comes first. So, Frank, who are you? How can we find you?
Hi, I'm Controller Frank. You can find me just about anywhere. Literally, I'm a mod everywhere. I'm going to start streaming again, probably maybe after Yogosphere, I was thinking. That way, just going to finally play Banner Saga because I love that game and I've never finished it.
Same. I can tell you exactly what happened without spoilers. Big plot weapon.
Yeah.
Accidentally gave it to someone who I hadn't leveled up. Couldn't trade it back. Couldn't end the game because she needed to be in a fight.
See,
couldn't win the game because I was like, no, I'm gonna give it to them because it's a lovely end to a relationship or whatever.
Oh my god, it's such a beautiful game too. But
it's beautiful, and there's a sequel.
Yeah, I have the second one. So I'm gonna be doing a playthrough on both. It's been one of those games. I love the game. I barely have put any time into it because it's like one of those, this is a wonderful game. I want to spend only my focus on this game.
Which is why
so I'm
you
finally
want
going
to
to do that.
stream it, so you actually finish it.
Yeah. So I'll be doing that after Yogosphere, pronunciation sphere. That's me.
Ollie,
Twitch,
who are you?
Twitter
How can we
stuff.
find you?
Ollie. He's talking about Yogosphere, which is happening in an hour. My stream. You're like, you watch this? What's that? That's this. It's D&D. It's roleplay focused D&D. We're actually going back to the main plot. Instead of following a group of adventurers who are trying to kill monsters, it's a bit more of actually a political intrigue plot. Not planned. It's just ended up that way. Dealing with whether the undead should have rights, more or less. A very topical thing, really an allegory for the real world sort of situation. But I also do, so that's going to go live in an hour for 4 hours, and then afterwards they'll be frank.
But wait, where can I watch it?
On my channel. There's a link in the doobly-doo.
There's a linkle.
And also, I do art streams, and after that, I play RimWorld. Frank is my husband in RimWorld right now. We bang every night, and it's genuinely insane.
We do.
Because Frank's like, okay, I've got work to do. My character has got so much mood buffs from, I love my husband. Oh, my husband's the best. It's so funny.
It's just like in real life.
Just like in real life. And on Sunday, because Dragon Age didn't work, there's going to be a new game stream of a secret game that I bet you might not have maybe played, because I haven't before.
Okay.
There's your hint.
Yandir Simulator. That's the game.
Aaron?
I fucking would. That game's
Aaron?
hilarious.
Hi. I'm Erin. I play D&D with Ollie and Scott, and I'm super excited to be playing both Yogosphere and Eberron this week. Last time I played those games, it ended up in really cool places, so...
We've had a month,
Yeah.
over a month-long cliffhanger in Yogosphere.
I remember the door opened up and Caitlin was there. That's literally the last thing I remember, so I'm curious how this goes.
It's true. Both games have gotten so much better. Things happen in Eberron that will just improve the game from here on out.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right.
And with that...
I'm Daleric. What I actually did recently, because I was sick and my family was sick and whatnot, I actually played Xenonauts off stream, which I'm so glad I did, because I actually played it on Mac instead of PC. I played it on my laptop, and it crashed constantly. I was like, so I started save scumming. Because
I wondered why I saw you opening it so often.
Right, because exactly, because it constantly crashed. So I started save scumming just to save my ass, because it was literally just program has ended. Want to reopen it? And then because save scumming's an addiction, I became a really horrible save scummer, and I totally beat that game in the most cheesy go fuck yourself way possible, literally achieving every goal you could achieve with I think 7 bases on the planet, and winning the world in only 6 or 7 months. So again, it was really bad save scum. But
that's why you don't play on a fucking Mac.
It's why you don't play on a fucking Mac. So, anyways, the stream schedule should be coming back to a relative normal again, and we'll see how that goes moving forward. But 56 minutes. Twitch.tv/Olirant. See you there.